In the dead of night, deep inside Russian territory, the silence was shattered by a sound that's now haunting oil executives and military officials alike: the buzzing of Ukrainian drones. Within moments, the sky turned into fire as an oil refinery, one of Russia's key energy assets, erupted into flames. Billions lost. Panic across the border. But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming. Because this wasn't just another strike, it was a message, a warning, and perhaps the beginning of a new kind of warfare. Stay tuned, because what unfolded after this single drone attack could change the balance of power in the entire region. 1. The strike that shook Russia. It was just past 2 a.m. when several long-range drones, launched from Ukrainian territory, crossed the Russian border undetected. Their target, a major oil refinery in Ryazan, one of the largest in Russia's industrial heartland. Within seconds of impact, fireballs ripped through massive storage tanks filled with crude oil. Black smoke towered into the night sky. Local authorities scrambled. Firefighters rushed in, but it was too late. The blaze burned for hours, destroying critical equipment that powered millions of barrels of oil output every month. The images went viral across social media. Satellite photos showed the sheer scale of the destruction. And Ukraine didn't deny it. Instead, Kyiv hinted that more strikes like this were coming. The message was clear. Russia's war machine could no longer feel safe, even at home. 2. Why oil refineries matter more than tanks. Oil refineries are not just industrial buildings. They're the arteries that pump life into a nation's economy and its war effort. Every Russian tank, jet, and transport vehicle depends on refined fuel. Without it, even the most advanced weapons are just metal statues. By striking refineries, Ukraine isn't just targeting infrastructure, it's hitting the heart of Russia's logistics network. Energy exports are the backbone of Russia's economy, funding the very missiles and bombs used against Ukrainian cities. A refinery on fire means less fuel for war, less revenue for weapons, and a deeper dent in the Kremlin's confidence. For the first time, Russia was forced to redirect domestic fuel to replace export losses. The impact rippled through markets, driving up prices and creating panic about supply stability. This wasn't just a physical attack, it was an economic ambush. 3. How Ukraine's drones pulled it off. Ukraine's drone program has evolved dramatically since the early days of the conflict. What began as improvised commercial drones carrying grenades has transformed into a sophisticated long-range strike system. Many of these drones are domestically developed, cost-efficient, and capable of flying hundreds of kilometers under radar. For the refinery strike, Ukraine reportedly used long-range one-way attack drones, possibly with modified jet engines and AI-based navigation. They're cheap, hard to detect, and devastatingly effective. Unlike traditional missiles that cost millions, these drones can be built for a fraction of that price, allowing Ukraine to strike again and again. Each drone flies low, hugging the terrain, confusing Russian radar. By the time it's spotted, it's often seconds away from impact. That's why Russia's air defense, despite being layered and advanced, continues to struggle. The battlefield has changed. It's now dominated by small, silent machines of destruction. When the flames finally died down, the scale of the damage was undeniable. Production halted. Export shipments were delayed. Local fuel prices surged. And then came the political storm. Russian state media tried to downplay the event, calling it minor damage. But leaked internal reports told another story. Entire sections of the refinery were offline for weeks. The Russian public, already tired of war fatigue, began questioning how Ukrainian drones could travel hundreds of kilometers into Russian airspace without interception. Social media erupted with criticism. Regional governors demanded more air defense systems, but with hundreds of similar facilities across the vast Russian landscape, protecting all of them was impossible. Then came the worst part for the Kremlin. Insurance companies and investors started reconsidering operations in high-risk zones. The psychological impact was as powerful as the explosion itself. For the first time, Russia felt truly vulnerable on its own soil. 5. The drone war revolution. This wasn't just a military event. It was a technological turning point. Drones have become the great equalizer of modern warfare. A small nation with clever engineering and determination can now challenge a much larger, heavily armed opponent. Ukraine has built entire industries around drone production. Small workshops, often hidden in basements, are producing hundreds of strike drones monthly. Some are 3D printed, others use off-the-shelf parts. Yet their precision and reach rival expensive Western systems. The world is watching this transformation closely. Countries from Europe to Asia are studying Ukraine's tactics, the way they combine reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and swarm attacks to outmaneuver traditional defenses. The age of tanks and manned bombers is fading. The era of autonomous warfare has arrived, the cost of retaliation. Russia didn't stay silent. Within days, it launched retaliatory strikes against Ukrainian energy facilities, power grids, storage depots, and railways. The tit-for-tat cycle intensified, and civilians once again found themselves caught in the middle. But here's the irony. Each Russian retaliation only pushed Ukraine to innovate further. Engineers started experimenting with even longer-range drones capable of reaching Moscow itself. And soon, reports emerged of explosions near the capital. Drones targeting oil depots just a few kilometers from the Kremlin. For Russia, this was more than a military embarrassment. It was symbolic. The world's largest country, armed with nuclear weapons, couldn't stop small drones made from commercial parts and ingenuity. Every counterattack cost Russia millions. Every Ukrainian drone cost a few thousand. The math wasn't in Moscow's favor. The West's silent role. Behind the scenes, Western intelligence and technology have played a quiet but crucial role. Satellite imagery, navigation data, and advanced materials all contribute to Ukraine's drone success. While Western nations denied direct involvement in attacks inside Russia, their technology and training undeniably empower Ukraine's engineers. Meanwhile, countries like the United States and the UK are studying the battlefield closely, learning valuable lessons about future conflicts. NATO officials privately admit, Ukraine's innovation under pressure has accelerated global drone warfare research by years. The strikes on refineries may not just weaken Russia. They may also serve as a live experiment in how modern nations will fight wars in the 21st century. And the results are alarming. Because if drones can burn down billion-dollar facilities in one night, the entire world's energy infrastructure suddenly looks vulnerable. 14. Human stories behind the machines. Amid all the headlines and explosions, there's a human story too. The young engineers, soldiers, and volunteers who made these drones possible. Many are university students turned innovators, coding flight software in makeshift labs. Others are veterans repurposing civilian technology into deadly precision tools. Their motivation isn't money or fame, it's survival. Each drone they build could save lives on the front line. Each successful strike means fewer Russian missiles falling on Ukrainian cities. In interviews, some engineers described watching the refinery blaze with mixed emotion: pride, sorrow, hope. We don't celebrate destruction, One said, "We celebrate the belief that we can fight back." Their courage has turned the tide of the war, one drone at a time. The new rulebook of war. The strike on Russia's refinery symbolizes more than revenge. It's the dawn of a new kind of conflict. Traditional military doctrines no longer apply. The wars of the future won't be decided by who has the most tanks or aircraft carriers, but by who has the smartest machines and the fastest innovators. Every global power is now rethinking its defense strategies. From the US Pentagon to the Chinese PLA, drone warfare is rewriting war manuals worldwide. Artificial intelligence, autonomous decision-making, and swarm tactics are the new front lines. What Ukraine has proven is revolutionary. Creativity can defeat scale. In an age of automation, agility is mightier than muscle. The drones that rewrote history. As the smoke cleared and the refinery lay in ruins, one thing became clear. The world had changed forever. Ukraine's drones didn't just destroy steel and oil. They shattered the myth of invulnerability. They proved that courage and creativity can pierce through the thickest walls of power. Russia now faces a war on two fronts, one on the battlefield and another in the skies above its own homeland. And as both sides adapt, humanity watches a dangerous evolution unfold. Because in the end, this isn't just Ukraine's story, it's the story of how technology has reshaped human conflict. The question now isn't if the world will follow this path, but when. If you find this deep dive eye-opening, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the next wave of drone warfare might already be unfolding somewhere in the world. We'll keep uncovering the stories behind the headlines, the truth behind the fire, and the technology that's redefining history.